Have you ever felt like you're a life raft that others only seek out when they're drowning in a sea of troubles? When love and friendship, relationships we cherish, seem to turn us into harbors for their selfish needs, our hearts gradually become burdened. When your sincere affection isn't reciprocated, your self-worth and trust in yourself may fade away, sinking into pain. These experiences are truly bitter. It might be the friend who constantly demands, but is never willing to give back, or the one who leans on you with all their worries, expecting relentless support from you, but disappears when you need them the most. Or even in a romantic relationship, you sense their care for you isn't because of who you are, but merely for what you can offer them. These are signs of an exploitative relationship. We all deserve to be loved and genuinely appreciated. It's heartbreaking to discover that those we trust and love see us only as a launchpad for their personal ambitions. This hurt not only affects our self-esteem, but also dims our belief in love. Through this video, we aim to bring you the light of confidence and self-respect to help you recognize and confront these challenges wisely and calmly. Let's explore 10 Stoic philosophical methods to identify if you're being exploited and learn how to protect yourself, not only for your own sake, but also for the purity of your soul. Before we begin, I have a challenge for you. Watch the entire video and don't skip any methods. Because just one out of these 10 methods will help you safeguard yourself from unhealthy relationships. Are you ready for this challenge? Leave a comment. I'm ready, and let's move on to the first method. Number 1. Broken promises. Marcus Aurelius, a figure of Stoic philosophy, once asserted, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." This advice echoes through time, emphasizing the importance of keeping promises as the highest expression of character and morality. When someone breaks a promise, they not only lose trust, but also demonstrate disrespect for others. Breaking commitments causes emotional pain and loss, while also weakening the foundation of relationships. This becomes clearer when we observe how opportunists often break promises, consistently prioritizing others or other matters over you. You are not seen as a priority, but instead as someone easily manipulated, someone who will not cause trouble even when continually disappointed. Repeated disappointment without any change in how they treat you reveals clear exploitation. If your hurt feelings never concern them, it not only exposes selfishness, but also shows that you are being disregarded. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, advised that we should not let our emotions depend on the actions of others. However, this does not mean we should accept betrayal indifferently. Instead, we should learn to become stronger from such experiences, questioning what truly matters and how to rebuild trust after betrayal. Faced with betrayal, we have a choice: to become hardened or to learn to continue to trust and hope. The question is not only whether you are being exploited, but also how you will respond to such situations. This requires self-examination and deep understanding of self-worth and the ability to forgive. Ask yourself, can you find strength in forgiveness and continue to open your heart? Or will you choose an independent path where trust and respect are built on understanding and autonomy? Number 2, disregard for your emotions or needs. The disregard for someone's emotions and needs is not just simple neglect. It's like a deep wound, silently telling the tale of the absence of respect and warmth of human affection. So the question arises, how do we recognize and overcome that wall of indifference? Firstly, ask yourself if this lack of concern is a recurring pattern. This question not only helps you identify the nature of the issue, but also paves the way for intentional self-protection. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, wrote, "If you're distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." When you realize the lack of concern, take a step back and reassess your self-worth, not dependent on recognition from others. Next, practice accepting that not everyone has the ability or intention to meet your needs and emotions. This doesn't mean you accept unfair treatment, but rather you don't let it affect your self-respect and joy in life. Lastly, aim to build relationships with those who genuinely care about you and your values. This not only helps you steer clear of negativity, but also brings positive energy, aiding in your personal growth. By implementing this approach, Stoic philosophy not only teaches us how to recognize and cope with indifference, but also helps us redefine our values and purposes. Thus, we become not just victims of circumstances, but active creators of our own lives. We often seek acceptance and validation from those around us. However, sometimes even minor comments can dim our light. The question then becomes, how can these minimizing remarks not only serve as reminders of our self-worth, but also as stepping stones for us to rise stronger? The answer lies in the approach. Number 3, diminishing comments. Imagine a moment when you, with your heart full of excitement, enthusiastically share an idea you are passionate about. In response, you receive comments like, "Actually, that's just your personal opinion," or "It seems you haven't truly understood the essence of the issue." The emotion surging within you at this moment is what? Is it the bitterness of feeling undervalued, when your ideas and passions are dismissed? Those responses not only overshadow the value of the thoughts you've invested in building, but also rob the opportunity for a meaningful, profound conversation. Yet, through the lens of Stoic philosophy, we are reminded that before reacting, we should pause and ask ourselves, can my words enrich this conversation? And am I contributing to building a sustainable relationship or undermining it? Faced with negative comments, Stoic philosophy advises us to remember that our true worth does not depend on others' opinions. How can you turn such situations into stepping stones for personal growth and relationship reinforcement? Sometimes is silence the wise choice, as not every answer is necessary. When confronted with unconstructive criticism, it's a chance to cultivate the patience and tolerance that Stoicism always praises. This is the moment to ask, how can I respond most constructively? And what lesson can I learn from this experience? These questions not only open the door to patience and self-improvement, but also mark a turning point for deeper mutual respect and understanding. So what's your answer? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below this video. We all crave genuine support, a guiding light through the darkest times. When faith is wounded by the absence of true support, we feel like we're standing in a lonely desert, our souls thirsting for a drop of familial warmth. Next, we will explore this pain through the light of Stoic philosophy, helping to identify signs of being exploited through the lack of genuine support, and providing us with the strength to overcome and protect ourselves. Number 4. Lack of genuine support. When genuine support is absent, we not only feel lonely in our challenges, but also begin to doubt the value of ourselves and our position in that relationship. This can lead to a question. Are we holding on to a relationship where our worth and needs are not being met? A specific example of the importance of support can be found in the story of Seneca and Lucilius. Seneca advises Lucilius to choose friends wisely, emphasizing that a true friend will stand by you not only in times of prosperity, but also in times of adversity. He writes that the greatest test of friendship is not helping your friends when they are in trouble, but being willing to let them help you when you're in trouble. This support is not just material assistance, but also sharing, empathy, and spiritual encouragement. So how do we recognize genuine support? It's when someone is there not only in moments of joy, but also by your side in difficult times. How do you feel about your relationship? Do you feel appreciated and supported, not just in words, but also in actions? Looking at relationships through a Stoic lens, we are reminded of the value of perseverance, loyalty, and genuine friendship. Relationships are not just about receiving, but also about giving. Genuine support sometimes requires the courage to speak hard truths, with the hope that it will benefit the other person in the long run. As Epictetus said, don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Genuine support in relationships is a reflection of this, an expression of love and respect, not just through words, but also through our actions. Number 5. Betrayal. When faced with betrayal, the trust we place in others acts as an invisible boundary. When shattered, it not only causes profound damage, but also undermines the relationship from within. Betrayal can manifest in various forms: lack of honesty in communication, absence of emotional loyalty, and sometimes infidelity. But how do we recognize the signs of betrayal? Firstly, observe whether the person remains open and truthful in their words. Even the slightest concealment is a telltale sign. Secondly, emotional loyalty is demonstrated not only through words, but also through actions. Do you still feel prioritized and loved? And finally, infidelity is the most blatant yet painful sign of betrayal. Stoic philosophy teaches us that every external event lies beyond our control, but our reaction to it is entirely our decision. When facing betrayal, communicate openly and establish clear boundaries. Remember to protect your mental well-being, for above all, inner peace is most precious. As Seneca once said, "It's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things." What does this mean, and how to practically apply this? So, view betrayal as a lesson, an opportunity to develop oneself stronger and more independent. Now, I want to ask you, have you ever felt betrayed? And how did you handle that situation? Please share with us in the comments below this video. Your perspective is valuable to us. We want to express our gratitude to everyone who has accompanied us on this journey of exploring betrayal, one of the most challenging trials in relationships. It's time for us to step into a new chapter, exploring the feeling of guilt. Let's face these challenges together and learn from them, turning them into opportunities to become stronger. We appreciate all your support. Every like and share not only helps the channel grow, but also inspires us to continue delivering quality and meaningful content. Please continue to accompany us on this journey with method number 6, making you feel guilty. When stepping into the intricate maze of modern relationships, we often find ourselves lost between sweet words and vague actions, unclear and ambiguous. Sometimes you feel ensnared in a cunning game where your conscience and freedom seem to be manipulated by feelings of guilt. But how do you recognize this? Stoic philosophy teaches us that the contrast between a clear conscience and being manipulated by guilt is an inner battle. When someone employs tactics to make you feel guilty, they are trying to take away your autonomy, turning you into a tool for their purposes. The negative impacts of this go beyond just feeling uneasy or lacking confidence. It extends to obscuring your true value and potential. To recognize and deal with this situation, Stoicism advises you to carefully observe your emotions and ask yourself, is this truly my choice, or am I being driven by a sense of guilt? For example, you're asked to do something you don't want to do, but you feel guilty if you refuse. Instead of immediately accepting, pause and reflect on why you feel this way. Is it a result of a free choice, or are you being manipulated by guilt? To build healthy relationships, Stoicism advises practicing autonomy and self-respect. Create a space for open exchange where everyone can express their feelings and needs honestly without fear of judgment. This way, we not only protect ourselves from exploitation, but also contribute to nurturing mutual respect and understanding in all relationships. How do you feel after hearing these insights? Have you ever felt trapped in a relationship where guilt becomes a manipulative tool? We'd like to hear about your experiences and how you've used the power of reason and autonomy to deal with such situations. Share your thoughts and stories in the comments below. Number 7. Unilateral Conversations. Imagine you have a friend named John. John is always there to listen, a peaceful harbor for your thoughts and worries. But one day, when you need someone to share your difficulties with, you discover an uncomfortable truth. Every time you begin to talk about your life, John seems to beat his drum, always steering the conversation back to himself. It's as if, in their world, only their story is worthy of being told. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen more than we speak. In John's case, this reminds us of the necessity of listening, not just to respond, but to understand and share. The absence of this reciprocity, where one continuously speaks without regard for the other, is a sign that you may be seen as a means to someone else's ends. The solution for you, if you find yourself in a similar situation, is not to immediately sever the relationship. Just as Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosopher emperors, once said, "The best way to avenge yourself is to not be like that." The first step is recognizing and acknowledging the issue. The next step is to try discussing and resetting boundaries in that relationship. Remember, in Stoicism, self-mastery and benevolence are the keys. And now, we want to hear from you. Have you ever had a friend like John, or experienced a similar situation? How did you handle it? Share your story in the comments. Through this, we not only learn from each other, but also find empathy and strength to overcome similar challenges in life. As Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, once said, "True love can fear no one." And in relationships, mutual respect and listening are indispensable foundations. Number 8. Unilateral benefit. Life truly is a colorful journey in which each of us seeks the warm rays of balance and sharing. Have you ever stopped for a moment, listened to the echoes from deep within, and wondered if you're being pulled into the whirlpool of a one-sided relationship? Those are the moments when you find yourself constantly giving without ever truly receiving what you've invested, creating a parasitic form of relationship. You nurture, while the other side merely indulges. When these lines touch your heart, perhaps you'll realize you're in an unbalanced relationship, where you're the one propelling the other to greater heights, while you are slowly draining. This might be the moment to pause, reflect, and ask yourself, are you becoming a part of this parasitic story? The root of this situation often stems from ignorance, fear, or even the greed of the exploiting party. The hallmark of one-sided benefit is imbalance. One side always gives, while the other always receives. This creates an unhealthy pattern where one side feels depleted, while the other side is never satisfied. Recognizing this isn't easy, but it's the first step to resolving the issue. Pay attention to your feelings. Do you feel drained? Do you feel like you're investing in a relationship that doesn't yield equitable value? When you do realize, remember that in Stoic philosophy, we're advised that autonomy and self-respect are crucial. This means learning to say no and setting boundaries for yourself. Ultimately, the consequences of one-sided benefits can lead to division, feelings of helplessness, and loss of trust. But it's precisely in these moments that Stoicism teaches us that every obstacle is an opportunity for learning and growth. By confronting and addressing the issue, you not only protect yourself, but also open doors for healthier relationships based on mutual respect and balance. Did you know that our minds often delve into deep thoughts about the essence of life? It awakens feelings of fascination and wonder about the world around us, prompting us to embark on a journey in search of truth. Moments of loss are where we find the most valuable lessons, providing us with profound insights and discoveries about ourselves and the world around us. Number 9. Absence in critical. In life, nothing values a strong relationship more than the presence of someone in crucial moments. It's during the toughest times, when we feel vulnerable and in need of support, that the absence of a friend or loved one can speak volumes louder than words. As Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "Fire tests gold, suffering tests brave men." Imagine, when you're facing one of life's greatest challenges, it could be the loss of a loved one, battling a vicious heart condition, or facing a business failure. And those you consider reliable friends are nowhere to be found. They may justify themselves as being busy or not knowing how to help, but the truth is, their absence leaves an indelible mark. At that moment, you may wonder, do they truly value this relationship as much as I thought? Stoicism teaches us to accept what cannot be changed and focus on self-improvement through self-control. When confronted with the absence of others in difficult times, we're encouraged to reconsider the value of the relationship and determine if we can become stronger alone. This doesn't mean cutting off all communication, but recognizing that spiritual independence isn't a sign of loneliness, but rather an expression of inner strength. The important questions to ask oneself in these moments are, can I find peace and strength from within without needing external support? And which relationships truly add value to my life? Through deep reflection and honesty with oneself, we not only learn to face difficulties independently, but also find true freedom in reshaping our social support network based on mutual understanding and respect. Inspire others. Can you share a story of how you changed from this 9th approach? Leave your comment below. In this life, we often seek balance in relationships, a worthy response to what we've invested. But sometimes, we find ourselves at the threshold of injustice, where love and care find no harbor. Recognizing and confronting the lack of reciprocity is not only a lesson in patience, but also in seeking internal freedom and guiding oneself on the path to contentment. Number 10. Lack of reciprocity. The pain of unreciprocated affection echoes coldly in the hearts of countless individuals. Stoic philosophy serves as a guiding beacon, gently reminding us of our true worth in seemingly imbalanced relationships. Seneca subtly suggests, "Those whom true love has held, it will go on holding." This reminder isn't just an echo of love, but also a verdict on balance and reciprocity in all relationships. Consider a specific scenario. You consistently provide emotional support and time for a friend, but when you need it, they are absent. This isn't merely an example of unresponsiveness, but also a sign that your value in that relationship is not acknowledged. Stoicism advises us to confront this situation by asking ourselves, does my investment in this relationship reflect my true value? And am I truly receiving the respect I deserve? In seeking balance, we must also remember, as Marcus Aurelius said, we are born for cooperation, as are the feet, the hands, the eyelids, and the upper and lower jaws. This underscores the importance of progressing together and supporting each other in every situation. When a relationship fails to reciprocate, it not only diminishes our value, but also hinders our ability to grow together. So, how do you address this situation? Start by communicating openly and honestly about your perceptions, while also applying Stoic thinking. Focus on what you can control. Ultimately, remember that your self-respect and worth are not dependent on others' responses, but lie in your self-awareness and self-respect. In the journey of our lives, facing and recognizing situations where we may be taken advantage of is not only necessary, but also an important step towards self-improvement and personal development in the Stoic way of life. Stoic philosophy not only teaches us how to accept and deal with difficulties in life, but also helps us to deeply and meaningfully assess the relationships around us. Do you find yourself in any of the 10 situations we have outlined? And how would you apply these pieces of advice to your life? These are important questions that each of us needs to contemplate. Remember, the goal is not to avoid every difficulty, but to learn how to face them consciously and steadfastly. We urge you not only to reflect on these lessons, but also to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. If you find this video helpful, please like and share it with others who may also benefit from these lessons. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel to not miss any future videos where we continue to explore and share more about Stoic philosophy and how it can help us lead a meaningful and happy life. Keep watching for the next videos displayed at the end, and let's continue this journey together with a Stoic spirit, where true freedom comes from accepting and overcoming the challenges of ourselves and life.